Good morning and welcome to the class of Experiential Marketing. My name is Irute and I am a lecturer in marketing, and it is my pleasure to be here today and to give you a 30 minutes sample lecture from marketing. So first of all is what actually is experiential marketing? Experiential marketing or experience marketing is a relatively new and exciting concept, and it's not only of interest to academics. Marketing practitioners have in fact come to realize that understanding how consumers experience brands and in turn how to provide appealing brand experiences for them is critical for differentiating their offerings in a competitive marketplace today. Consider some of the intriguing new products and brands that have appeared on the market during the first decade of the 21st century. Apple with its iPod, iPhone, iPad products, Nintendo Switch, just to name a few. All these products, of course, boast innovative designs and promise superior function in comparison to other products, but focusing on their product features really tells only a part of the story. Just as creative and innovative is the way these brands are marketed to consumers, through appeals to our senses, feelings, intellect, curiosity, and self-image, rather than to more rational, utilitarian notions of value. Such marketing techniques have turned up in all sorts of industries, from consumer electronics and automotives to airlines and retailing. Think of Mini Cooper, Virgin Atlantic, JetBlue, or others. What they all have in common is a focus on experience. Understanding the experience economy. This can be easily understood through analogy of happy birthday cake. So, how do economists change? The entire history of economic progress can be recapitulated in the four-stage evolution of the birthday cake. Number one stage, as a vestige of the agrarian economy, mothers made birthday cakes from scratch, mixing farm commodities, flour, sugar, butter, eggs, and whatever they liked, that together cost mere dimes. Then we've entered the second stage. As the goods-based industrial economy advanced, moms paid $1 or $2, for example, to Betty Crocker for pre-mixed ingredients. That made making the cake slightly easier. The third stage, later, when the service economy took hold, busy parents ordered cakes from the bakery or grocery store, which at $10 or $15 cost 10 times as much as the packaged ingredients. And then we entered stage 4. From the time-starved 90s, parents neither make the birthday cake nor even throw the party anymore. What do they do instead? Instead, they spend $100 and today so much more to outsource the entire event from some businesses that stages a memorable event for the kids, and often thrown in the cake for free. Welcome to the emerging experience economy. In what has been dubbed an emerging experience economy, we find retailers redefining themselves as a source of memory rather than simply as goods, as an experience stager rather than a service provider. The brick-and-mortar store, for example, are being transformed into retail interactive theatre, staffed to offer advice, various cooking lessons, beauty makeovers, and fashion shows. So how do we now define what experiential marketing is? As you can see from the definition on the slide, is Researchers say that experiential marketing is any form of consumer-focused marketing activity, anything that creates a sensory emotional connection to consumers. That's the key thing, to connect with consumers through senses. So experiential marketing promotes a product by not only communicating product's features and benefits, but also connecting with unique and interesting customer experiences. The idea is not to sell, but to demonstrate how a brand can enrich a customer's life. So experiential marketing is therefore about taking the essence of a product and amplifying it into a set of tangible, physical, interactive experiences that reinforce the offer. In today's highly competitive retail environment, retailers have recognized and embraced the concept of offering pleasant experiences to customers across various channels beyond new launches and lower prices. Brands recognize the advantage and importance of customers' everlasting memories. The experience really helps to develop trust to the brand, commitment, and preference through the brand. And in fact, experiences do have a strong effect on brand personality. So brand experiences are not just associations. They are dynamic sensations, feelings, cognitions, and behavioral responses. Like brand associations, they may be stored in consumer memory after the experience in the here and now. So what is the difference, and is there any difference between experiences, products, and services? Well, economists have typically lumped experiences in the services. That's just a part of services, maybe slightly different. But experiences in reality are a distinct economic offering, as different from services as services are from goods. So this is completely different. Now let's go a little bit deeper to understand how. So from now on, leading-edge companies, whether they sell to consumers or businesses, it doesn't matter, will find that the next competitive advantage really lies in staging experiences. So you can see the top of the diagram is staging experiences. So to realize the full benefit of staging those experiences, however, businesses must deliberately design engaging experiences that command a fee. So how do you stage experience that actually sell? To appreciate the difference between services and experiences, let's recall the episode of the old television show Taxi, in which Iggy, a usually atrocious but really fun-loving cab driver, decided to become the best taxi driver, in the world. He started serving sandwiches and drinks. He conducted tours around the city and even sang Frank Sinatra tunes. By engaging passengers in a way that turned an ordinary cab ride into a memorable event, Iggy created something else entirely. He has created a distinct economic offering. The experience of riding in this cab was more valuable to his customers than the service of being transported by the cab. And in the TV show, at least, Iggy's customers happily responded by giving bigger tips. The service Iggy provided, which is taxi transportation, was simply the stage for the experience that he was really selling. So you can see the difference between commodities that are really just fungible things, some raw materials, transition to making goods, which is something that is tangible, you can touch, you can feel, you can see, you can weight, you can define, it's clear. to going higher, delivering services. When it's something intangible, service never starts without a customer, and it's something intangible, invisible. We are a bit vulnerable. Often we don't even know, we cannot judge the quality of the service objectively after it has been performed. That's how difficult it is. Today, coming to staging experiences, creating sensations, creating something memorable that will last in our heads and help us create positive associations with the brand. So while prior economic offerings such as commodities, goods, and services are sort of external to the buyer because these are really designed by the company, experiences are inherently personal, existing only in the mind of an individual who has been engaged on an emotional, physical, intellectual, and even spiritual level. Hence, no people will ever have the same experience because each experience derives from the interaction between the stage event, like a theatrical play, and the individual's state of mind and other psychological factors. Experiential marketing assertions, I really like those. These were created by Pine and Gilmore, and they said, in commodity business, we charge for stuff. We give you this raw material and we want the money back for it. Goods businesses, we charge for the tangible things. Sometimes we combine some raw materials and give you some sort of a product. For example, a phone is made of all different commodities, different raw materials, but it's still a product. Service business, we charge for the activities that we perform for you. An experience business charge for what? For the time customers spend with you. So Pine and Gilmore were actually the first to define experiential marketing, and they explain the view on experiential marketing in the following manner. When a person buys a service, he purchases a set of intangible activities carried out on his behalf. But when he buys an experience, he pays to spend time enjoying a series of memorable events that a company stages to engage him in a personal way. So let's go a little bit further and look into the economic distinctions between all four economies: commodities, goods, services, and experiences. Let's go straight into what I consider the heart, and let's look at the bottom line, which is factors of demand. You can see in commodities, these are characteristics; in goods, these are features; in services, you have benefits, what is really important to customers; and experiences, you have something called sensations. So in a new age with the new consumers, we really need to shift away from a characteristics, features, benefits approach as advocated by traditional approaches to consumer experiences. One such approach is experiential marketing, an approach that in contrast to the rational features benefits view of customers takes a more postmodern orientation and views them as emotional beings concerned with achieving pleasurable experiences and in this way enhancing their lives. Experiences have always been at the heart of entertainment business, a fact that Walt Disney and the company he founded have creatively exploited. But today, the concept of selling an entertainment experience is taking root in businesses far removed from theaters and amusement parks. New technologies in particular encourage whole new genres of experiences, such as interactive games, internet chat rooms, multiplayer rooms, motion-based simulators, virtual reality, augmented reality, simulation games that we use in education, and so forth. At theme restaurants such as the Hard Rock Cafe, Planet Hollywood, and others, the food is just a prop for what's known as eat-tainment. And stores such as Niketown, for example, draw customers in by offering fun experiences, fun activities, fascinating displays and promotional events, sometimes even labeled as shoppertainment or entertaining. Business-to-business marketeers increasingly create venues as elaborate as any Disney attraction in which to sell their goods and services. For example, in 1996, a company called Silicon Graphics opened its Visionarium Reality Center at corporate headquarters in Mountain View in California, to bring customers and engineers together in an environment where they can interact with real-time, three-dimensional product visualizations. Customers can view, hear, and touch, as well as drive, talk, or fly through myriadic product possibilities. This is experiential computing at its ultimate, where our customers can know what the products will look like, sound like, feel like before manufacturing, as it was said by Chairman and CEO Edward McCracken. Let's move on and talk to the 4 realms of experience. So we can sort experience into 4 broad categories according to where they fall along the spectra of 2 dimensions. One of them is the level really of participation or involvement, ranging from passive participation to active. And the second one on the vertical axis is really the intensity, from really being just absorbed to immersed in the action. So let's start with the first one, which is entertainment. The kinds of experiences most people think of as an entertainment would be watching TV, attending a concert, going to a geek event or something, tend to be those in which customers participate more passively than actively. Their connection with the event is more likely one of absorption rather than immersion. If you wanted to draw a comparison with luxury, so those experiences would be something like fashion shows at designer boutiques and upmarket department stores. They usually involve a low degree of customer involvement and intensiveness. For instance, flagship Gucci and Chanel stores in Tokyo have added restaurants and bistros with marquee chefs. So this is kind of creating something a little bit different, creating more experience, but the participation is still passive and you are more absorbed in the action. Educational events. Educational events would be something like attending a class, sitting in a class here today, taking a ski lesson, tend to involve more active participation, but students are still more outside the event rather than immersed in the action. In luxury, activities in the educational zone involve those where participants are more actively involved, but the level of intensiveness is still low. In this zone, participants acquire new skills or increase those they already have. Many luxury goods offerings include educational dimensions. For example, if you take cruise ships, they often employ well-known authorities to provide some sort of semi-formal lectures about the itineraries, a concept commonly referred to as edutainment. Likewise, Ferrari driving experience in North America is a 2-day program that is designed to narrow the gap between driving ability and a Ferrari's performance capability. Despite the success of many such activities, the potential clearly exists for further increasing the educational element of many luxury goods offerings. Let's move to the escapism. Escapism is defined as experience that teach just as well as educational events can, or amuse just as well as entertainment, but they involve greater customer immersion, and this is the key here. Acting in a play, playing in an orchestra, or descending the Grand Canyon involves both active participation and immersion in the experience. In luxury, escapism activities are those that involve a high degree of both involvement, active participation, and intensiveness, so really immersed in the action, and are clearly a central feature of much of luxury consumption. This is clearly evident with the luxury tourism and hospitality sector, characterized by the growth of specialized holiday offerings. Within a broader context, exclusive membership of organizations, associations, or clubs such as P1 Prestige and Performance Car Club can also act as a form of escapism experience, allowing members to create new identities and realities for themselves. And finally, it's aesthetic. So basically, if you minimize the customer's active participation, however, an escapism becomes an experience of the fourth kind, the aesthetic. Here, customers or participants are immersed in an activity or environment, but they themselves have little or no effect on it. It's like a tourist who merely views the Grand Canyon from its rim, or like a visitor to an art gallery. In luxury, celebrity endorsements for luxury products and services can help to foster escapism via associations. When the element of activity is reduced to a more passive involvement in nature, the event becomes aesthetic. The 6-story glass crystal design of the Prada store in Tokyo, conceptualized by the famous architects, has become a showcase for unconventional contemporary architecture. Likewise, Ermenegildo Zegna's flagship store in New York, inspired by its Italian heritage, seeks to engage visitors via all the senses. Again, it's easy to conclude that much luxury goods activity is of aesthetic nature, with customers immersing themselves in the experience, but with little active participation. There is the sweet point right in the middle of the diagram, a red one. So generally we find that the richest experiences, such as going to Disney World or gambling in Las Vegas Casino, encompass aspects of all four realms, forming a sweet point around the area where the spectra meet. But still, the universe of possible experiences is vast. Eventually, the most significant question that managers can ask themselves is, what specific experience will my company offer? The experience will come to define your business. And really, do not rush to do your business or to grow before you can define this. So we expect that the experience design will become as much a business art as product design and process design are today. If airlines would truly sell experiences, more passengers would actually shop in the seat pocket catalogs for mementos of the flight, for example, Ryanair. Let's talk about the 5 senses of experience. Shim detailed 5 types of marketing experiences that are becoming increasingly vital to customers' perception of brands. The idea is to engage with all 5 senses with the customer if possible. The sensory stimulants that accompany an experience should support and enhance its theme. The more senses an experience engages, the more effective and memorable it can be. For example, smart shoe shine operators augment the smell of polish with crisp snaps of the cloth. Scents and sounds that don't make the shoes any shinier, but do make the experience more engaging. Savvy hairstylists shampoo and apply lotions not simply because the styling requires it, but because they add more tactile sensations to the customer experience. Similarly, grocery stores pipe bakery smells into the aisles, and some use light and sound to stimulate thunderstorms when misting their produce. But not all sensations are good ones, of course, and some combinations don't work, so watch this carefully. Let's now look into each of them. So the first one is sense. It appeals to consumer senses such as sight, sound, touch, smell, taste and smell. So making sense out of brand senses. The smell of the new car, for example, is distinctive. Interestingly, when Rolls-Royce customers complained in the 1990s that the car smells weren't as good as the old models, researchers tracked the problem to a surprising source. New cars weren't as good as the old ones because of the car smell. The company then created an aroma and sprays in all new models. Las Vegas casinos have long infused scents into gaming areas to encourage gamblers to stay a little longer. A BMW is a great example and has a really unique sound. And here we're not only talking about the engine, but about every button, every door, and many other things that make a sound. A group of specialists in BMW, perhaps more than 10 people in the world, focus on this. Have a look on the website how BMW is creating a sound. You'll be surprised. Sometimes we drive and we say, oh, that's really ultimate driving experience. That's so smooth. It just feels so amazing to drive BMW. But actually, it's so much to do with the sound that is produced and that gives you that special feeling. Check out the YouTube video because you can learn a lot of interesting things. If you go to a shop called Lush, you can taste, you can smell, and almost feels like wanting to touch something. Despite all that, interestingly, most communication appeals to only one of the 5 human senses, and this is sight. So companies are doing really good job in terms of visualization, but not as good yet with sound, touch, taste, and smell. The best senses are really unobtrusive. Anything overwhelming can be negative. And the theory is that passengers will associate the subtle sense with a positive, relaxing experience. For example, Singapore Airlines have scented towels handed out. You could even trademark a sound. Of course, some are all about smell, like airwick, toilet spray. The second one is feel. It induces customers' inner feelings and emotions, such as Disney. Feel marketing appeals to customers' inner feelings and emotions, ranging from mildly positive moves linked to a brand, for example, non-involving, non-durable grocery brand or service or industrial product, to strong emotions of joy and pride for technology, social marketing campaigns. Think appeals to our intellect in order to deliver cognitive, problem-solving experiences that engage customers creatively. Perhaps Apple, computers, books would be a great example. Think marketing appeals to the intellect in order to deliver this cognitive problem-solving experiences really. Act targets our physical behaviors, lifestyles, and interactions with others. For example, tennis clubs go to fairs and provide opportunities to play tennis with mini nets and rackets. ACT targets really our behaviors, lifestyles, and really kind of prompts us to act. Relate, the final one, creates experiences by taking into account individuals' desires to be part of social context. For example, it's about the self-esteem, being a part of subculture or a brand community. And it has a lot to do in the luxury market. Customers want to be entertained, stimulated, emotionally affected, and creatively challenged. The Fisherman House. The Fisherman House is something from my home country, Lithuania. This is a great example of experiential marketing. It's the only place in Lithuania where you can catch trouts in large ponds. You will be able to see how professional cooks make various dishes of the fish that was caught by you, following the recipes of forefathers, of course. The Fisherman House distinguishes itself among other restaurants for not only tasteful meals, but for the favorable conditions established for the guests to catch a fish by themselves. So after arriving here, you get an equipment, you get a fishing rod, some bait, and a basket to put the caught fish. You become a real fisherman, and you don't have to care about the rest because all is taken care of. Even the caught fish will be cooked by professional cooks. For example, once when I went fishing, I was really worried about taking the fish out. That was just something I couldn't bear in my mind. So that's great because in this place, they help you do all for you. And you can also fish in winter. So the restaurant provides with equipment for ice fishing. And they say there is nothing more pleasant than to pull a wonderful trout from under the ice and then eat it yourself. As another example, perhaps one of really great examples, experiential marketing in Niketown. So where you can find a lot of different things you can engage in activities. And I remember I went to one of the Nike stores in London, and there was like a little court where you can play basketball or you can play tennis. There is a lot of interaction. Shoes are moving using robotics, and there is always something that catches your attention, something to touch, something to feel, something different. The whole presentation, the sound, smell, and so on. That makes a complete, total experience. Check it out. The other example is really BMW. Yes, BMW, experiential marketing. This is a compelling example of introducing experiential marketing, and in this way, BMW has a lot to say. This involves establishing a cohesive set of images and meanings for the experience. So they opened BMW Welt in Munich, which is a cathedral-like showroom modeled on the Acropolis in Athens. And it evokes a marketing experience that includes a cohesive theme, an educational project, engagement of the senses, and the soliciting of feedback. So BMW Welt embodies BMW in all dimensions, really. It unites tradition and innovation, emotion and precision, dynamism and aesthetics, exclusivity and openness. Here, the company kind of enters into the dialogue with its customers. And this is where you can experience BMW with every sense. Key question is, why have so few luxury brands sought to replicate such a winning marketing strategy? That's a good question, hard to answer perhaps. A pioneer in developing virtual experiences was also BMW's short internet-based film series, The Hire. Other experiential activities have since been an integral component of BMW's new media communications. For example, BMW TV can be viewed on the German BMW website, which reports on BMW-related features from Formula One to technological innovations. They do update the website every 2 weeks in order to lock in the viewer. Only those firms that develop customer-valued web-based experiences will be successful in this domain. So experiential marketing is really a relatively new orientation that is gaining ground not only in Western, but in all emerging economies, and really provides a contrast to traditional marketing. Whereas traditional marketing frameworks view customers as rational decision makers, those that are focused on functional features and benefits of the products, kind of that's all we care about, experiential marketing says, no, customers are emotional beings, focused on achieving pleasurable experiences and enhancing their lives. Another great example of experiential marketing is Mercedes-Benz World at Brooklands here at Whitebridge in the UK. So with thrilling driving experiences for all ages, plus 3 floors of attractions and exhibitions, Mercedes-Benz World is the perfect day out for the whole family. That's what they say on the website. They offer a comprehensive program of entertainment all year round that covers all aspects, including history of automobile, driving experiences of all types, unique special exhibitions that they are changing and updating, many attractions for children, indoor and outdoor dining, with plentiful conferences and event space. Mercedes-Benz has something different to offer to everyone, and this is where experience really begins. For example, conferences, meetings, and events They say that they offer experience on every level, from impressive Brooklyn's Hall to the elite S-Class suite. Mercedes-Benz World offers a diverse and inspiring range of conference meetings and event spaces. They have a broad range of rooms and areas, offering an ideal blank canvas for those looking to create their own space or unique character, which leads itself to an event. They say whatever the size of the room, all facilities are backed up with dedicated event coordination team, in-house catering, technical logistics support, and so forth. They offer different functions too, like Christmas parties and private functions. On the 3 floors of ultra-modern building, they offer a wide range of stunning event spaces, suites, and dining for Christmas parties, festive gatherings, and even weddings. What a great place to get married. So also offer free parking, free place to go there. Of course, driving driving Mercedes is a really expensive experience, but it's a great experience. And if people are happy to pay the money for it, the company is here to provide with all sort of experiences. So that might be an amazing day out to experience this. So the next thing I wanted really to kind of end this presentation talking a little bit about experience and happiness. Is there anything similar between those two concepts, or are they completely different? So, what makes people happy, customers, or in general everyone? Conceptually, the happiness construct is closely tied to the concept of experience. Both constructs are concerned with elements that are highly internal and subjective and are highly non-utilitarian. The experience construct transcends functional product and brand features and benefits and quality-price relations that lead to utilitarian value. The happiness construct focuses on broader aspirations in life, stressing that well-being, hope, optimism, and love are important things. So can companies through experience marketing thus contribute to consumer happiness? Addressing this question and exploring the relationship between experience and happiness is really, in many academics' view, the next step of experience market research. So, experience, happiness, and quality of life, what's similar and different? Positive psychologists have distinguished 2 distinct approaches towards achieving happiness: pleasure and meaning. The hedonic approach, dating back to Greek philosopher Epicurus, focused on pleasure and positive emotions and stressed that happiness results from experiencing sensory and affectively pleasurable moments or episodes. The eudaimonic approach, first associated with Aristotle, however, focuses on meaning and stresses that happiness results from living a meaningful life and engaging with meaningful activities. Something like when you go to sleep and you think, that was a great day, that was a really productive day, and I've done something valuable, not maybe only to myself, but to others around me. That is, whereas the hedonic route concerns the small, pleasurable elements in life, the eudaimonic route, associated with Aristotle, focuses happiness and search for lasting meaning. The latter route is closely tied with so-called terminal values. Those include harmony, equality, family, concern for the environment, and so forth. Interestingly, entertainment is very important for life quality, whereas buying goods is the least important for both happiness and life quality. And we see from statistics recently that people are kind of buying less of the goods or stuff and more investing into experiences, something that will give them those memories. The result is consistent with psychological findings that people prefer being to having, and that time rather than money contributes to happiness. Should we perhaps build more theme parks than shopping centers? Or perhaps different kind of shopping centers, for example, those that allow for entertainment opportunities as part of shopping experience. Yet the exciting field of experience marketing is still emerging. Most importantly, I feel we really have to understand the relation between experience and happiness, so marketing practitioners and public policymakers together provide not only utilitarian value to their customers and citizens, but also improve their well-being and life quality. So, experiential marketing and branding in general is not about driving brand involvement, but trying to find ways how can we help people live better lives. Thank you so much for listening to the experiential marketing, and I hope you enjoyed it and there was something for you to take away. If you wanted to get in touch with me, please do so. Otherwise, thank you for watching and goodbye.